Welcome to another Monday morning of the Morning Blend.
Those things just keep on coming.
They just keep coming. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what didn't keep coming this morning was something to drink. My hand is empty, and I am missing it.
This morning.
I saw that.
It was my priority. It's just coffee, straight up.
Yeah, I was out a couple of days last week, and at the end of the week, and so when I got in this morning, I came in rushing to see, to try to catch up on the emails. Although I saw them, I just kind of saw them just to see them, but didn't really read them. So this morning I was trying to catch up on email. So everybody who emailed me last week, I'm gonna get to you.
She's got you.
I got you.
Monday morning, the gift that keeps on giving. We are here with Rob Cleveland as our special guest.
Rob Cleveland.
Rob.
Is this some kind of celebrity?
I know.
Wait, I think that star is really bright. I got to put on these sunglasses. Rob Cleveland. Oh, amazing.
The bar is really low if I'm a celebrity.
Mr. Rob is here with us because he's with GrowNELA, and he is going to talk to us about, what GrowNELA is all about, because he actually has an office on the Monroe campus.
Yeah.
So we're going to see him around more often. So
yes,
we thought it was a good opportunity for y'all to get to know him a little bit.
Absolutely. And he's going to have an opportunity to tell us all about it a little bit later in the program, so stick around.
Yes, absolutely. Now, one thing on my mind right now is the Thanksgiving holiday. I cannot wait for stuffing, turkey, mac and cheese, all that good stuff. So I know I've heard y'all are cooking people. Y'all cook a lot, and I don't know if you cook a lot, but I was wondering, what is your signature dish for Thanksgiving? What do people look forward to that you bring to the table for Thanksgiving?
I'm always assigned the dressing.
Really? Dressing is hard. Oh my
but
gosh.
I love to make it.
Really?
And yeah, I do. I love to make dressing. I love cooking holiday food, period. It's the rest of the year that I hate to cook.
But when it's the holidays.
But for the holidays, I love to cook a holiday meal.
Yeah.
And so this year, now for Thanksgiving, we get together, all of us in Dallas, pretty much, with the Dallas family. And so I've been bringing the dressing when we were having it at my house prior to us traveling to Dallas, which we've been doing that for like 8 years now. I still always did the dressing, but I did the whole meal almost, except the macaroni and cheese, and which my sister makes a killer pan of macaroni and cheese. But this year I'm assigned the turkey, the dressing,
the main events,
and the ham.
Oh my gosh.
Doing all three. But my signature deal is the dressing. I'm ordering the turkey from Randall's because they do a great fried turkey.
Taking shortcuts.
Yes, I am.
Hey,
I am.
Sometimes you got to enjoy the holiday, right?
And I'm pushing the ham off on my mom. She's not aware of it yet, but that's how that's gonna go.
Well, Miss Darian's mother, if you're listening, congratulations. You have that honor.
You've been assigned. So, okay, the thing that I cook, nobody actually ever asks me to cook on Thanksgiving, but because all the matriarchs of the families of all the families usually do most of that.
Yeah.
But I've learned to make a good gluten-free sweet potato pie. And that's for those that have special dietary needs.
That's great.
You disclaimed that because you said it's gluten-free. You disclaimed that. Good.
But that's
in
really.
case you didn't catch that, because gluten-free foods are not necessarily that great.
Right, depends. It's been many iterations, many versions, but
Yeah.
I got it together finally, and I think we got something going.
That's good. So like people with those dietary restrictions can still enjoy a classic on Thanksgiving.
That's
That
right.
is awesome.
Look at
Who
Ryan
knew?
being sweet.
I know. It's not surprising though, because he's the health nut.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, y'all, I saw him at the Veterans Day program last week eating chocolate cake.
No way.
I about fell out.
No way.
I was like, who is this?
See, this is the entertainment, right? They pick on me all the time. What is this?
But I'm gonna tell you, Ryan does make a good. What is that? The
Pralines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And I
those are
don't
good.
even like those, but yours were really good, and I will.
You know what? This is Ryan. Why don't you make some more? You know, this is.
The
Sounds like
holidays are coming up.
besides that, my birthday's coming up.
Oh, the
Ooh, yeah.
birthday
So,
situation.
you
yes.
know,
I'm surprised
That's
you
it.
don't have your shirt on.
Yeah.
I know. I wore
it
it
the
this
week, the
weekend.
month? No?
It's the month right now, and it'll be the week next week. So
Yeah.
I'll wear it. I have birthday shirts.
She does.
It's my birthday month, my birthday week, and then my actual birthday.
Rob, I think
So,
you're going to learn a lot more about
Yeah,
us than we
it's
are
fantastic.
about you.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
let's learn more about Rob. Rob,
Yeah.
what do people expect on Thanksgiving from you?
Look, I'm originally from the Midwest, so we're bigger people. So I'm not really a cooker. I'm an eater.
Oh, fair
Yeah,
enough.
I indulge.
Yes.
And listen, my wife is a fantastic cook, and I'm a firm believer that you let people do what they're really good at. So
love
I
that.
help, but she's really good at it, and I enjoy the fruits of her labor.
You're the
So,
cheerleader,
Yeah.
right?
cheerleader
what's
and
your
eater.
favorite dish that she makes for
Boy,
Thanksgiving?
probably just the potatoes, just the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
You know,
Can't go wrong.
She must
yeah.
make the homemade.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Butter and
yes.
the milk
Yep.
and it's
I
barely
think-
mashed potatoes when you're done with it.
Yeah.
It's like butter
Yeah, it's
potatoes.
just butter. Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
ask, Rob, do you supervise at all the goings on in the kitchen, or do you make it a point to stay clear?
Yeah, I stay
out of
clear.
it?
You know,
Smart
football's
guy.
on, and
Football.
I do.
That's how we help.
I
That's
help when
it.
I'm asked. Right? I add
That's how he
help
helps.
when
He stays out the kitchen.
and
Love it.
I'm asked to do something. I'm happy to contribute, but I
Wise
know my
words from a
role.
wise man.
There
So-
you go.
Very wise.
There you go.
Yeah, and the kitchen is a dangerous place in
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. If you're not with it, you gotta quit it. Get out of there.
Get out.
Look,
That's
my signature dish is deviled eggs. I make them every year, and I make them
Ooh.
with dill. I don't like sweet pickle, so people with sweet pickle can get out. I'm sorry, but
know.
I
Did you
It's
hear
like,
what she
woo,
just said?
like,
I'm
did
sorry.
She, did
Said you
she
can
just
get out.
squish?
yep.
She just
A little
squished.
You can
fiery
bring
on
your
a Monday
own
morning.
I know.
deviled eggs with if you
What's
have
over
sweet
there in
pickle.
that cup?
So.
Man,
It's coffee.
What happened to sweet Cameron?
It's more like coffee beans, but
What happened to that sweet version?
jeez, she did not get French roast today.
She did
Okay.
not.
yeah. But anyway, I had to make for the first time ever last Thanksgiving that we had for Delta. I had to make like 100 deviled eggs. So
Are you serious? You
yes,
made
at the
that
last
many?
Thanksgiving we had for Delta, I made that many deviled eggs.
So what's the secret in peeling the boiled eggs without tearing up the skin?
You put a little bit of salt in them when you boil, and I usually do it with like chicken eggs, y'all, like fresh farm eggs, because my parents have chickens, and they're the hardest to peel. You put a little salt, and then when you're peeling them, this is a process, y'all. You put the
hands are
you
working
put the
right
egg
now.
like long ways, and then you tap the end of it, both ends of it, and whichever one has the space, you
Uh-huh,
know, like
uh-huh.
you find that you get under that little bit
Yep.
of transparent, like
Like little thin skin.
Yep.
skin.
And once you're under that, you're good. You can just so.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, you heard it
wisdom.
right here. In case you all out there make deviled eggs and your skin ends up jacked up, Cameron's
art.
giving us a tip.
Yep, no problem.
Don't use
you
sweet
guys.
pickles, apparently.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo!
Bread and butter, get out of here. I'm not even playing with that. So.
take us to the next thing, Cameron. I'm
Yeah, I
scared
know.
right now.
Cameron's
We're
all
gonna
fired
go.
up this
Thanksgiving's
morning.
supposed to be a good time. What's going on with you over there?
Oh, y'all, we got a lot of, not a whole lot of news and upcoming, so we're going to run right into that.
Okay.
It's good to be in our news and upcoming. We only have 4 items, which I'm really excited about. The first one is the LDCC Employee Engagement Committee Holiday on the Bayou Party.
Look at that gator.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, he's ready for Christmas. So,
that's creative. I like that.
yeah, we have our date for it, December 13th, and it's at 12 p.m. flat. So it could go all night, ladies and gentlemen. Keep out for more details in your inbox. Keep an eye out. But I will say we're doing our classic Dirty Santa. We have our classic, we're doing like a competition kind of thing, kind of like the gingerbread contest, but from last year,
and
but
I
a little
yeah,
different.
my group was the winner last year.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And we also are going to have Cajun food to eat. So
Ooh.
that's hence the theme,
Oh.
Holiday on the Bayou. So,
Okay,
Oh,
let's
nice.
talk about this just for one extra minute.
Okay.
Is there a competition? Usually there's like a dessert competition or something like that. Is that
Oh,
happening
yes,
again
that's
this
still
year?
Oh yeah,
standing?
we're doing that again, and
Okay.
Is that also Cajun themed as well?
it doesn't have to be. Where it's
Ooh,
just going to
Ryan,
be
you can
desserts
make your
across the
cookies.
board. So
Okay.
yep. So if you do that, make sure to bring enough where everybody can try a little bite, and then people will be able to vote. It'll be a crowd vote on who's the winner. So I forget who wins last year. I think it was Miss Rhonda Lindsay, but I might be mistaken. But
Is there now when you win? Is there some kind of trophy? Like are you crowned? King
Yeah,
or queen?
Ryan
of the-
doesn't want to participate if he doesn't get a trophy.
yeah, he's all about the flashy looks.
He's
isn't
all,
he?
yeah, and it has to have so much bling to it.
You know what, Ryan?
Know.
If you win the dessert competition, I will buy you a belt, like a wrestler.
Oh yes, I would love that.
Okay,
That'd be
but
awesome.
only if Ryan wins.
Okay. Some people actually have my back. You on everything? They just like to throw salt all
yeah,
the time. You just
yeah,
gosh.
should be used to it.
Next up, y'all know we are.
Wait, there's
What?
no next up.
There's a next up.
You know why? Because I'm going to put this graphic up,
Oh
and I'm
my
going to say
gosh.
on the same day, the
On
graphic,
the same day.
the graphic didn't
That's
make
right.
it, but on the same day, don't forget about the BTEC mini
That's
conference,
exactly
y'all.
right.
We're still taking proposals, call for proposals and presentations is happening until this Friday, November 22nd. It's TED Talk style, so don't be scared. Get up there, share some ideas, and let's have a good time with just enjoying each other's wisdom and each other's company. That's going to be that morning, Friday, December 13th. Keep an eye out on your inbox for that as well.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, now go ahead,
Awesome.
Karen.
All right, we are looking for a new chancellor because our current chancellor decided to retire in June. So we have our meeting coming up tomorrow at LDCC Monroe, LPB, room 108 at 10 a.m. Be there or be square. This is going to help LCTCS gather really important information from us about what we want to see for our next chancellor. So make sure to make it out to Monroe tomorrow.
Here's a question. Do you know if the chancellor search meeting will be televised or streamed or anything like that?
I have no idea.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought I'd ask
That's a good
for those
question.
on the other campuses.
I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so too. We need to get that out.
I would
maybe.
think so.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll find out before I push out the week at a glance.
Perfect. That'll be
And
good.
so be looking for that right there in the week at a glance.
Awesome. Something else tomorrow happening is the Winter Masquerade Ball. SGA is
It's
from-
tomorrow on a Tuesday night.
Yep,
Yeah.
on a Tuesday night.
Wow.
Very
okay.
interesting.
6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and I believe RSVPs are closed. But it's going to be a really good time. Yes, last year's was beautiful.
It
They
was.
decked
Yes.
out the entire
It was so
auditorium.
beautiful.
So you don't want to miss this. And get a mask so you can be in masquerade and
So
mysterious.
nobody
Faculty
can
and
know who
staff
you
are
are.
welcome to attend too. So.
Is that right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you
they
gonna
were-
mask up?
At least they were last year.
No, you're gonna be there masking up.
No.
No, not your jam, not your cup of tea.
I mean, it would be, but I have something else on my calendar.
Oh, this is classic.
She's a
excuses.
busy woman.
Somebody across the
Ryan
table knows
wouldn't-
about. Wait, somebody across the table knows about those Midwest excuses.
Did he just throw
I
that
think
at
he
us?
did,
He
yeah.
did.
Louisiana natives over here. I'll stick with
See,
you, Ryan.
Rob,
I'm throwing
he
it at
wouldn't.
you.
He wouldn't
knows.
understand because Your Highness has people who does his bidding. He can't relate to the world of working people.
Gosh. Anyway, that was at you. That was not in our good guest. Anyway, the upshot to it all.
Yeah.
Night, there'll be a king and a queen, right, on that
Yes.
same night. The Winter Masquerade, king.
You
and
mean
queen.
there's more than one king?
Oh, I think Ryan's going to be crowned king. I think that's what he's getting at.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Just come out and see it, right? You are all invited to the coronation, okay, tomorrow night. No, it's going to be a student, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Our last thing see, this
We're
is a
off the
mess over
rails.
here. We have our autumn appreciation bunch. So JAG is putting this on. I think it's the first one that they've
That's
done.
nice.
It's invite only. So each JAG member is charged with inviting one person, one faculty, staff, or student who they really appreciate.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of a Thanksgiving, thank you for, what you've done in my life kind of thing. So
Awesome.
that'll be this week on November 21st from 11 to 2. Invite only. So you'll get an invite that kind of of looks like this graphic we have up. If you get it, that means you are invited and someone
One of the
appreciates
special
you.
people.
Oh, Catherine DeLee, that was her doing.
Yes.
Very well done.
Very awesome. So yeah, that's all of our news pieces, which I feel like took longer to get through.
I wonder why.
We are off the rails,
that
as
one
Ryan
over
said.
Wonder why.
That one in that seat.
We're gonna go to in case you missed it, y'all.
We
That's a
got you,
good one.
Cameron. We got
That's
you
a
at
good
the
one.
end.
Did you really?
It was this. Look, we got the
Ryan.
the end of this. It was perfect.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't appreciate that.
You better be careful because she's not on Sweet Pickle. She's on Deal. Watch it. This
Little
is not
salty
a
this morning.
Sweet Pickle kind of a day.
I promise I'm not always like this. Y'all, we first have this Veterans Day at Monroe. So we have a lot of Veterans Day programs last week, which was amazing to celebrate our veterans.
Yes,
Thank them
yes,
for their
it was.
service. These are the pictures from Monroe, and I wanted to point out one person at the program who really made me smile. So during the song where it mentions all of the military branches, we had a few cutouts because of technical difficulties, but Mr. Clint Creech came
Oh
through.
my goodness!
He
Didn't
knew
he come
all
in
the
clutch?
words, and he was
Clint
singing
Creech
it during
came in clutch.
during the quiet parts. So
That's right.
Yeah.
that I got a little picture of him smiling and cheesing after he got done singing. So
And
Yeah, we
he should
appreciate
have
you,
been.
Clint. That
Yes.
was awesome.
Yes.
yeah, but thank you to all of our veterans. Our speaker did a wonderful job, and it was a beautiful program. I'm glad it was definitely one of our programs we had. We also had a Veterans Day program at Jonesboro, and the speaker also did an amazing job. They had donuts and water, and the speaker talked about, what it's like to be a veteran, be in the military, some of the benefits for it, that kind of thing. And it was really nice program for Jonesboro to have. So,
All right.
and then lastly, we had our Veterans Day program at Ruston, and they had donuts and refreshments too.
And one of our own was the guest speaker.
Yes, Kim. Why?
Jolivet?
Jolivet. Kimberly Jolivet. She is a veteran, and she spoke and did a fabulous job.
Yeah, you were hopping that morning.
I did a
You were
tour
everywhere.
of Northeast Louisiana that morning. I went to
3
Ruston's,
veterans
I went
programs.
to Jonesboro's, and then I made it to Monroe's. So, but it was so worth it to hear everybody speak and be able to cover each program. So yeah, I just, thank you all to who put these programs together. Y'all did an amazing job. Turned out beautiful to celebrate our veterans. And then lastly, we have our Honor Society induction, which happened last Friday for the adult education program. And it was each campus, I think, could choose one or two. I think each location could choose one person to be in the National Honor Society to submit for that. So they had their induction ceremony where they got pinned, got their stoles.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, and
Every success counts. I mean, not just for adult ed, but for all of our students, because, we don't know people's stories, when they get here. And some of them just getting registered is a measure of success for them,
Yeah.
because that was difficult and such a big deal, and fighting through fear
Yeah.
to get here. I've talked to several older students who talked about how scary it was pulling into the parking lot, for the first day of classes, and how paralyzing one person said it was to even think about getting out of the car to come into the building. And so, to get here, to make great grades, to be eligible for the Honor Society, that's pretty cool.
very
absolutely.
cool. Yeah, well, and congratulations to those students. We're really proud of them. And we talk a lot about, non-traditional students at LDCC. And I think it's, in adult ed, you see a lot of non-traditional students. And that's what is so amazing about their accomplishments, because despite adversity, they're able to not only succeed, but excel. So congratulations. It was
Yes.
also a beautiful ceremony. I was glad to be there. Actually, Dr. Matt Napper spoke, and he was a speaker at that event and did a wonderful job. All right, it's time for the hot seat. We are going to go to our featured section and talk to Rob about GrowNELA.
me put my sunglasses back on. All right,
For
I'm
the
ready.
Star.
Woo! Bright as the sun. I
And
remember.
that's- Rob, tell him that's that light he has beaming down on your head.
No, I just remember. I think I was setting up for another event, and I just happened to come across Rob, and I was like, "Hey, man, how's it going? Who are you? You know?" Like, and he's trying to fix up his office, and different things are happening, and I was just
Where'd
like,
you come from?
Yeah. And then we started talking about what do you do? What do you do? And I said, you know what? You got to meet Cameron, because I don't know if you're here that day. And so we connected the dots, and here he is
And
talking
here he
with us.
is.
And I'm so happy that you decided to join us.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here, and my office is, I can probably see it.
Yeah.
It's right across the hall here. And,
Yep. Our neighbors, new neighbors.
We've had the office. The organization GrowNELA has had the office here for quite a while, and we have another office north of town at the former Lumen headquarters on Sterlington as you're heading north and out of Monroe, and it provides us with some great opportunity to, depending on where you are in the region, to work out of either office. So I've been here more. We're trying to, as Ryan mentioned, I think he caught me one day trying to clean the office to make it look presentable and all those things. So thrilled to death to be here and appreciate the opportunity to hang out. I should have brought coffee this morning.
I know. So you have to come back and do the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
I'll come next week and see the birthday shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It is a sight to see.
It
Yeah.
is
Of course, it
perfect.
doesn't have to be Monday. We take treats any day.
Oh, okay.
It's just
All right.
whatever you want.
Right.
So is GrowNELA the same as NELP?
So that's a great question. So yes, ma'am, it is. And GrowNELA is the Regional Economic Development Organization for the 10 parishes here in Northeast Louisiana. And those are dictated, maybe a strong word, but those are designated by the state of Louisiana. So the Louisiana Economic Development Organization designates the regions in the state. So there's 8 regions throughout the state of Louisiana, and GrowNELA is the regional organization for this region. Our counterpart, NLEP, is the organization based out of Shreveport. So there's really only 2 economic development organizations in North Louisiana.
So it's GrowNELA and NELP. The parent of all of the regional ones would that be LED? Or how does LED
there a
fit into? Yeah.
Yeah,
Alphabet
great
soup.
question. So there's not a parent. We are our own standalone
Okay.
organization, but we all do funnel up and funnel down from LED, the state organization. So
Okay.
we interact with them a lot. There's no formal structure
Gotcha.
where we report up to them, but the partner that we interact most with is LED, and they're based out of Baton Rouge. And when a company is looking to relocate, 9 times out of 10 they start at the state level.
Yep.
So a company will say, well, we want to be in the South, maybe in the Mid-South. We want to be in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, or Mississippi. And so the lead will start there, and then the state will funnel those out accordingly. Maybe they're interested in crawfish harvesting, so that they're probably not going to locate in Northeast Louisiana.
Right.
Maybe they're a wood products manufacturer who wants to be out of Hurricane Alley. Then we would be an appropriate spot, and New Orleans obviously wouldn't. But so GrowNELA is really our main focus is to bring new jobs to the region. That's the number one goal, and so we're working with LED, we're working with companies, we're working with site consultants and real estate executives, all with a singular goal, and that's to bring new jobs and new investment and new companies to Northeast Louisiana. And that's the main focus, and I'm happy to tell you that there's a lot of good stuff going on right now. So there's a lot of rumors out there, but there's a lot of good things happening right now in Northeast Louisiana, a lot of opportunity for us.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, with the Amazon warehouse, literally right next door to us, we can see some things happening.
Yeah, now I get my package in a day instead of 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we can walk over and knock on the door. No, just kidding. What would you say, what industries would you say are the most ripe for Northeast Louisiana?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I'll give you 2 answers to that. I think first, the traditional answer is going to be wood products and timber related businesses. And so
Specifically because GPI is located here, or
yes, that has something to do with it. So it's not just GPI, but a company like Drax as well. And so from a traditional standpoint, it has everything to do with the raw product. So,
Gotcha.
we have access to timber. Companies that are involved in wood products are going to typically always look in our region. So
Okay.
those are good paying jobs, and companies from outside can look into Graphic and Drax and some of these others and say we can be successful in that region. We know that the people in Northeast Louisiana know how to do this type of work, and we'll be able to find workers.
You
So
just
that's
connected a dot there.
correct, and
The labor.
and that's directly related to our relationship with you. I mean, in most cases, the site location is driven by labor availability.
Yeah.
And so our relationship with you and ULM and some of the others, it's the critical piece in trying to recruit new companies. So from a traditional standpoint, wood products, traditional manufacturing, very, very good for this area. The other thing that's really hot right now are data centers. Data centers are going on a lot around the world. And the state of Louisiana early this year passed very key critical legislation that is attractive to data centers, and that legislation essentially eliminates sales tax. So all of us who go out and buy anything around here know that we have a 10-11% sales tax, and the state of Louisiana eliminated that sales tax on data centers, and so that's a huge expense for data centers. And so instantly, overnight, once that legislation was passed, Louisiana became a very key player in the data center business. Now, the number one issue for data centers is always they have to be up and reliable, and so hurricanes are a huge detriment. Again, so that
makes North Louisiana kind of
exactly
spot.
It makes North Louisiana the spot to be because the data centers just aren't going to critical data centers are not going to locate in Hurricane Alley. So the sales tax exemption, among many other aspects, have made data centers very attractive right now. A lot of data center activity.
And what type of workers does that entail in a data center?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're working again with LDCC right now on some opportunities, and when you hear data center, I think a lot of people think computer programming, and that's an aspect. But data centers use a huge amount of power and water because there's a lot of electricity in the servers, and so
And you need
cooling
it reliable as well.
Right, and cooling is a huge piece to keep all of those servers up and running. So electricians and plumbers there are a lot of those folks
That makes sense.
that go along with the data centers because there's constant need for electric work and that kind of activity. So computer programmers, electricians, welders, and plumbers, really a lot of data center activity there.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunity for your students and our ability to get younger folks who are looking for what that career move is going to be to really focus on some of those trades related activities where they can get a certificate, they can get a really good job right out of high school, and so we're grateful for the opportunity to partner with LDCC and try to recruit some of these companies because labor force is really key.
So are you allowed to say which data-centric companies we're trying to recruit right now?
Yeah, no.
I love
Good
it.
try, Ryan.
Love it.
I like how
Although
I
that
need to-
question was in my brain too, so I wanted to know too if you were allowed to share that. But typically those things are kept pretty quiet until it's a done deal.
They're kept very, very confidential, and the reason for that is, the companies have to know that they can keep things close, so that their competitors ultimately don't know what they're doing. I mean, there's the big five: Google, Amazon, Microsoft, AWS, and I'm forgetting one, but anyhow, so there's the big five. But another key piece to the data center attraction, there are a lot of developers who do this. So the developer will come along, put up a building, find a site, and then be working with any one of those or all five. So there are a lot of cases where we're working with a developer, and we may not even know who their end user will be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun, it's exciting, and we always like to know more. We may or may not have a company coming in this week.
Okay.
And we don't
We
know.
may or may not be looking.
Yeah. But I can tell you, if we do, we don't know who that company is. So we've been working for months on a project, and we still don't know who the company is. And so they don't even let us know. And
That's crazy.
so when people say, "Oh, what's going on?" In many cases, we don't know. We've been working on this project for months. We know what they do. We know how many jobs they're going to create and what their investment is, and we know nothing
That's
else.
it.
That's it.
Wow.
So, so we have to try to be everything to them. We, show them sites and talk about labor force and access to timber and those kinds of things, and without really knowing what they do. So
A blind date that stays blind.
Seriously.
The very end, I guess. Love is blind, but for economic development.
Yeah, interesting. So that's the business side of Rob. What's the personal side like? We've learned that you're married, three kids.
Yes, ma'am. 3 kids. 2 of them are in college, and I have a son here at Neville.
Cool.
So we live in
Neville.
Monroe, and we've been here since July 1st. And you and I were commiserating about the Midwest. All of my friends and family back in the Midwest are freezing, legitimately. And I was on my boat yesterday, so we love it here. It's fantastic. It's been great. The move has been wonderful, and
you don't miss that snow.
I won't miss it at all. Not
I'm
at all.
telling you
Oh,
that
interesting.
not having to get out and scrape your car, your windshield. I mean, that's wonderful. Not having to drive in it, not having to prepare for it with boots and all of that. Not
Hats.
having to put out salt.
Yep. All of the things.
No. We just traded for heat here.
Yeah, and we'll take it all day long.
I mean, but I did. I mean, I acclimated well. I'll deal with the heat any day. I used to travel back home regularly during the winter because we would go up for Christmas. But after a while, I mean, just making that drive and seeing cars spun around in the median, and it's just, and then having to. Sometimes it was snowing so heavy. It was so difficult to see. And that just got crazy. And we were like, why are we doing this?
There's no need
I mean,
for it.
you all can mail Christmas gifts. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And so,
Let UPS handle that burden.
oh, girl, I was like, yeah, so we stopped doing that. There's a breakoff point. If we don't make it, up north before October, we're not going till like June, July
Till
next
the
year.
defrost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we lived on Lake Michigan, in the community on Lake Michigan, and we get lake effect snow.
Oh my gosh, you
And-
were really cold.
So it would usually snow on Halloween, and then it would snow a foot overnight. And you'd wake up and there'd be a foot of snow, and that's a lot. So we don't miss that at all.
Yeah.
Thrilled to
Not
death
at
to
all.
be here. Looking forward to our first Mardi Gras and our first
Yes.
Christmas, and hopefully 70 degrees and shorts. So,
More than
we'll
likely,
see.
that's what it will be.
Yeah.
You have
That'll
to
be
pop
great.
in and join the Cajun festivities for Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or for our holiday party.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Awesome. And what do you do? You're really into economic development, which we know, but what do you do outside of work? Any hobbies?
Like for fun.
Yeah, for fun. Well, economics sounds like a blast the way you're
It is. It's
describing it,
awesome.
but
Boy, what do we just have one kid left, so we spend as much time with him as we can in the house, and we went to the Tyson fight over the weekend. And
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
any
Legend.
any kids out there who are the last kid in the house know that, at least in our house, whatever the kid asks for, he gets, because we just want to spend
Yeah.
time with him.
Yeah.
We have a boat out on Caney Lake that we spend a
Nice.
little time on, and that's about it. Kids and work, and there's no shortage of opportunity right now in Louisiana, and a lot of that is when all the stars align, right? So we have a new governor who's aggressive about bringing new jobs and new investment, and we want to ride those coattails. So there's a lot of sites. There's a lot of activity that has been done here over the last 10 or 15 years to certify sites. So we have some really good sites here in Northeast Louisiana. We have the data center legislation that I mentioned. And if you believe what has been said through the election cycle, there's an opportunity for fossil fuel related projects. I think
Okay.
the incoming President Trump is going to be very supportive of fossil fuels, and certainly from a natural gas standpoint, that benefits us all here in Louisiana.
For sure.
So the stars are aligning. There's a ton of opportunity. So I'm focused on work.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
it's great. There's a lot of good opportunities here.
Well, great.
Awesome.
We're glad to have you.
Yes.
Welcome,
Yes.
welcome to the South.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I realized when I got, well, not long after I got it, because it was really weird at first. You know, I would go out, you know, and to different places, and people were so friendly. I'm telling you, it's not like that at home. You know, back in. I mean, you drive up next to a car, and people would be looking over, and they'd wave, and I'll be like, I don't know them. Why are they waving at me? And my husband's like, they're just being kind. And I'm like, what? What is that even?
Southern hospitality,
It
right?
really was. I realized that was a real thing. And then I would go in places, you know, like to shop, you know, small shops and everything. And people would just stop and they'd talk to you and they'd ask you all the questions. And I'm like, why are they asking all you know, and they were just being kind. And it was funny because when my mom came down to visit for the first time and we were out, she had the exact same reactions to people like I did. And I was like, I had to tell her, it's okay. They're not it's okay. She's like, because she, you know, literally someone would be asking her something and then she turned to this side and looked at me and I knew what she was thinking. Why are they asking me all these personal questions? I mean, you know, we don't do this.
Right.
And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. And now she's moved here. And so, yeah, so she's
gonna have
learned
Getting
that.
in on
Do
the act
it.
now. Is she asking people questions?
Well, yes, she is. Yes. We had a guy that came out that was installing something, and she was just sitting there. I'm like, would she please let these people work? She was just sitting there, just chatting it up with the people, just chatting it up. So, yes, she's acclimated too.
Well, I'll tell you, we're enjoying all those first, right? The getting acclimated. And I was in Lake Charles last week, and then had to go to Baton Rouge to meet with some folks about a project. And I drove from Lake Charles to Baton Rouge, and like the first 4 exits, each one advertised Cracklins. Like there was Cracklins
yeah.
and Boudin.
Boudin.
You said it right.
And so
Yeah.
I swear, the 5th stop, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna, I'll buy in. So I stopped, right? And at this little place, I'm like, I'm not real sure, man. I went all in. I got the alligator bites. I got the boudin.
Oh,
I
you
got
were
the,
really adventurous.
I got the cracklins. I was all in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a new experience. So we're thrilled to death to be here. It's everybody's been very friendly and
Yeah.
and excited about what we're trying to do to bring new jobs and investment to the area. So it's been very everybody's been very welcoming.
A fresh eyes on things, right? A fresh face to deliver the message, a fresh voice. I mean, we need this. You
Yeah.
know, so thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, thrilled to death, and yeah, of course.
As a native Louisianian, it has given me a new appreciation for Louisiana. Y'all talking about, you know, how much y'all appreciate it. So awesome. Okay, next we have King Ryan, who's itching for the spotlight.
I don't.
So we're
Get you
gonna
to wrap it up. How about that?
let's move on to our Monday morning motivation.
And somehow,
And the volume is down.
but hey,
Awesome.
you saw the graphic. Didn't you? All right. So really quickly, y'all, it's kind of interesting. We all do a lot of work. We do a lot of good work. We stay in the throes of being productive, and sometimes we are in the fires of the things that can be trying and challenging and things like that. And it was interesting that you were talking about your boat, because you seem to be one that does enjoy your work, and that's kind of just a natural part of you. And I think that we all have a place that we have purpose, right? So we do things, we want to deliver, we want to give to the world in some way. And so we have a purpose through our work and through our families and so on. But I was greeted with this graphic actually over the weekend, and I'll share it with you now. And this graphic, I just came up out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
And it just was that reminder, and we've kind of said some things like this on the show before, but it's just a reminder that, hey, sometimes, it's good to just take a step back, take a breath, especially if it gets overwhelming. Sometimes we can think, oh my gosh, everything's
Mental
going
health.
crazy, it's coming to an end, but if we just take a step back, or in this case, the graphic shows that, you just pull yourself out of a situation sometimes, then maybe it won't spread like wildfire. Maybe we can control that a little bit. And so that was the thing that came to mind, because I saw this over the weekend, and I said, you know what, this might be something good. It doesn't take away from the fact that we want to be catalysts for change. We want to deliver, but at the same time, just remember you and your mental health, at the same time, and your families and all that stuff as you produce. So sometimes you need to step away.
Leave that up there for a second, Ryan, because that it works both ways.
It
Because
does.
you said that on it when you need to disrupt chaos, how stepping away you can diminish the impact. Well, if you remove yourself and what you bring to the table, you can also halt progress. And you're not and you diminish the fire, the forward movement. And so that's what I saw when I looked at that.
The opposite.
Interesting. You saw the
Yeah,
opposite.
that is interesting.
Well, I think it could work both ways, because, this is about kind of breaking a cycle, and that can be a really good thing when it comes to, toxicity, right?
and time.
Yeah. And so, maybe the way you break those cycles is to remove yourself and to not participate, in the toxic part. But, you can also say, maybe me doing something different, not necessarily stepping away, but doing something different from what the norm is can have that change and that effect. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate
That is
this
really good.
Hey, I love it when we all get into the Monday morning motivation and we have something to say. And Rob, feel free to add to that if you wanted to as well.
No, I love the opposite perspective too. Sometimes we need everybody at the table
Bring your supply.
to be motivated and moving in the right direction.
I don't.
And
Love it.
yeah, love it.
All right.
All right. Well, Ryan came with something beneficial today, y'all. Look at that.
I still love you. I really do. Gosh.
Oh my God.
All right. So this has been the morning blend, sipping the latest with the greatest, although Cameron was the only one sipping. And after today, I'm going to check her cup next week to make sure that she's not drinking something bitter.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in.
You all
We had
send
an excellent
Cameron some
time.
love via her email.
Thank you, Rob, for being on with
Yeah,
us. You did an
most
amazing
definitely.
job of explaining GrowNELA to us. We're excited to see what comes out with GrowNELA and our partnership as well.
Well, and thank you. And I always tell people, listen, it's never been easier at any point to change the world. And it's never been easier for you to connect with people. And so if you have an idea, if you know of a company that's looking to relocate, if your mom or dad or uncle has a company in Texas and they're looking to relocate, call us, email us, reach out to us on Facebook. It's never been easier to connect with people. And so if there's an opportunity to grow jobs and investment in this area, we'd love to hear about it.
Awesome.
And if any of you ever doubted your purpose in being here, you just had it confirmed right here through Rob. What we do makes a difference.
All right.
Everybody have a wonderful week.